As I get older, I'm realizing a couple of things about friendships. Number one, for me, it gets harder to make friends the older you get. It just seems to be the case. And number two, what I'm feeling and what the latest research tells us is that the quality of friendships can predict our well being, even boost our lifespan by as much as 50%, which makes it as important as not smoking, eating right, and exercising. And the older I get and the more I think about not just living a long time, but the quality of that time, I'm thinking a lot about my friendships. Overall, I'm scoring pretty good on the lifespan thing. I don't smoke, I don't drink very much. I eat right most of the time. I exercise, but I don't excel in the friend department. And I know that the reason for that is because I'm not a very good friend. And yet, I'm also a really good friend. If you're looking for someone to shoot the breeze with and chit chat and text back and forth nonstop, I'm not a very good friend. But if you need to hide a body, I'll bring the shovel. I'm extremely loyal and protective of my friends. If somebody's messing with you, I've got your back. We will destroy them or go down trying together. I'm the kind of friend who will be there for the big stuff, but I'm not so good at the small stuff. And this is a problem. It's a problem because life is mostly really mundane. It's made up mostly of small stuff. Hopefully, you're not friends with the kind of folks who are always going to war. Those times are few and far between. It's not that I don't want to be better at that sort of thing, at the small stuff. I'm just not great at it. And I have a lot of excuses for why I'm this way. I'm so busy. I have work to do. Or I'll think to myself, well, they're busy. They have work to do. They don't have time to just sit on the phone and chat with me. They're probably spending time with people much better than me. They're spending time with their family or their kids, and I just don't want to bother them. People are busy. And I'm sure that a psychologist would call this attachment anxiety on my part. And I think there's some truth to it. I think that's true. Both things are true. I think I do have some attachment anxiety, and people are busy. Another excuse, which may be accurate, by the way, is that I haven't learned the skills of friendship. Yeah, it turns out there are skills of friendship. I've been thinking a lot lately and taking some baby steps toward trying to be a better friend. And I'm finding it much harder than I expected. Partially because if I'm trying to be a better friend, shouldn't you also be trying to be a better friend? I know I didn't tell you that I'm trying to be a better friend. I didn't tell you that I'm working on this, but shouldn't you be working on the same thing I'm working on? And shouldn't you be reading my mind? Yeah, you see where I'm starting from? What a mess. So note to self, lesson number one. If you're working on your friendships, it might be a good idea to let the people you're experimenting with in on this big plan. Let them know, hey, I kind of suck at being a friend. I own that. I would like to be a better friend to you. Are you open to working on this together? And I'm imagining that response will be a resounding yes. And I think there are a couple of things that are going to lead to that resounding yes. Maybe. Number one, I think you think they are your friend, but maybe they just sort of tolerate your blue moon pop-ups. In this case, yeah, they're going to be delighted for you to be a better friend and develop that skill. My second idea is that if you struggle with being a good friend, but can point to people in your life that you would call friend, maybe those people aren't also a good friend. And maybe they would want to work on developing this skill with you. Not because they're bad people, but like you or me, they haven't developed the skill. So lesson number one, let them know that this is something that you're willing to work on together. I'm working on being a better friend. I'm taking baby steps with someone. And over the last few weeks and taking these baby steps, I've not clued this person in that I'm taking baby steps with them to work on being a better friend. And I will call them or I will text them. I will leave a voicemail on Friday, and I may not hear from them until Tuesday. Well, this just sends me into orbit because here I am trying really hard to be your friend, and you can't even acknowledge when I reach out. See lesson number 1. And here's lesson number 2. There is a concept in psychology called R, A-R-E. It's a concept originally created to help therapists show up for their clients, but I think it's a really good, really quick and easy way for us all to remember how to be a good friend. R stands for accessible, responsive, and engaging. Accessible means to be emotionally and physically available, be present, be approachable, be attentive. It means taking time for your friends, even if you're busy. And this doesn't have to be hard. Just a quick text to check in or schedule a time to jump on the phone to catch up. I have a friend that I have had a standing date with for at least 5 years. At least 5 years we've jumped on the phone or a Zoom once a week just to catch up. This person is also someone that wants to work on being a good friend, and we experiment with one another, and it's been a delight for me. It's been a great way for me to practice. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with scheduling friend dates, scheduling regular time to be with your friends, to make yourself accessible. It means that I can reach you. You can reach me. R is responsive, which means actively listening, being thoughtful. It means to respond in a timely way. Even if it's a thumbs up reaction on a text message, to acknowledge that you got it, that's responsive. We all know what it's like to text someone and them not respond. And it can be really frustrating. At least it is for me. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, but if I text someone and they don't respond, I get my feelings hurt a little bit. And I don't know about you, but my mind will go anywhere from, well, clearly they must have died in a terrible car accident, all the way to, what have I done to make them mad? They must hate me. Anywhere in the middle would be an acceptable place or a regular place for my mind to land when someone doesn't reply to my text. My mind really is a wonderland, in case you're just now figuring that out. And then finally, E is for engaging. That means having meaningful dialogue. Plan for time to talk or be together that allows for real connection. When you're together, put the phone down and engage in the present moment. Be engaging. So R, accessible, responsive, and engaging. It's a really clever little way. It's a short code to help us become and communicate with how we're showing up as friends. It's a language between us and our friends. We can just tell them, hey, I feel like the R score between us is a little low lately. Is everything okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that our friendship skills could use some work. And that's not just my opinion. 24% of all people worldwide feel lonely. The Surgeon General has declared loneliness an epidemic in the United States. The number of Americans who report not having a close friend has gone from 3% in 1990 to 12% today. That's a 4-time increase in the number of people that don't have a close friend. 74% of Americans don't feel connected to their local community. 74%. With numbers like that, you may not be lonely, but somebody you know is, which tells me that we could all probably afford to work on or be teaching one another how to be better friends. May we all be rich in good friends. And until next time, may you have joy, peace, and happiness, good health and well-being, a life of ease and prosperity, the courage to get what you want from this life, the clarity to know what that is, the imagination to not sell yourself short, and the discipline to see it through.